Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am the Michelle. Today we are going to talk about 10 ways to make your marriage better. So if that's something you want to hear, stay tuned. So let's get down to business, okay? So what makes me credentialed to discuss this information? Well, first of all, I've been married for 26 years. I don't think I'm an expert, but I'm really great at being married, okay? And so marriage is a commitment, and it's something that many people take for granted. It's something that people look at it as a title, but they don't know all the hard work, the sacrifice, sometimes the tears, sometimes the frustration that goes into being married. And so I'm going to just share with you 10 ways that I have utilized in the 26 years of being married to my husband to make our marriage better. Number one, we try our best to make sure we eat our meals together. We try to cook together. And why do we do that? Number one, everything is better over food, okay? I love me some food. We love to eat. We are extremely good foodies. As you know, every video we produce is always has food in it, okay? Either we're doing a cooking video or we're somewhere eating. We are foodies. And so when you bring conversation and marriage around the table, family, food, communication takes place. And there's nothing better than spending a great time communicating over some delicious food. And so I think when you're cooking together and eating meals together, that's the perfect time to ask your spouse, how was your day? That's the perfect time to ask your spouse, is there anything that we need to take care of? That's the perfect time to really just see or hear what's on your spouse's mind. And so eating dinner, cooking together is always a great way to open up the door for Number two, conversation. Do some fun and exciting things together. People get boring the longer they're married. The more exciting things you get to do together, the more it brings you together. Have fun, laugh, joke, do something exciting that you've never done before. And even if you've done it before, make it better by surprising the other person. Perhaps, you have a place that you wanted to go. Surprise your spouse. I don't care if it's the man or the husband. Of course, we always want the husband to do it, but the wife can do it too. And so do some fun and exciting things that you both enjoy. My husband is a sports fiend. Right now, he is doing his fantasy football draft. I have no interest. However, when he's talking about it, I act like I'm interested. I want to know more. Why? Because it interests him. And he tries to do the same thing for me. And so when you do something fun and exciting that both of you guys enjoy and you're able to come and communicate about it, it really, really opens up the communication dialogue and make the marriage better. Number three, you want to be open and willing to apologize when you're wrong. I know that's hard for a lot of us women and a lot of men too. I don't want to admit when I'm wrong. However, admitting when you're wrong kind of, again, opens up the door for communication. And it really, really helps within the relationship. So if you're wrong, just say simply, I apologize. Also, you want to be able to have that communication and dialogue when you're apologizing. Now, should you apologize every time, even if you're not wrong? If you're a husband, yeah. But you should be able to open up that dialogue to have communication as to why whatever happened that you're apologizing for, what happened in that relationship. Number four, you want to ask for what you want and what you need. If you're not being satisfied, whose job is it to do that? Your spouse. And so if you need that extra support, if you need that extra love, if you need that extra hug, that kiss, whatever it may be in the bedroom, whatever it is, ask for what you want. That's your spouse. And you should be able to ask for what you want and get it. Okay. Number five, you want to be open and clear. I can't stress this enough. Open and clear about your feelings. There's nothing like walking around and being misunderstood by somebody you say you love, somebody that you're married to. And so when you're open and clear about your feelings, there's no misunderstanding. Again, just like with communication. Again, all this derives back to communication. Tell people how you feel. Tell your husband, your wife, how you feel. What can they do to make the marriage better? Sit down and have those conversations. Number six, you want to listen and understand more than you talk. Now, I love to talk. I really do. And my husband knows that. He always tell me that. You love to talk. You're going to always be right. No, sometimes we have to sit there and listen because sometimes we're not always right. And sometimes when you listen to people, you hear things that you thought you knew, but you just did not know. Because if you knew it, you wouldn't do it. Okay? And so sit down, listen more than you talk. We have 2 ears for a reason. We have 1 mouth for a reason. And that's because we're supposed to listen more than we talk. And I promise you, in the process of listening, you will find out things about your spouse that you did not know before. You will hear things that you thought you heard, but you didn't. And you will have that open dialogue of communication to better your relationship. Number 7, don't assume how the other one is feeling. Assumptions can get a whole lot of people in trouble. When you assume things, you assume wrong most of the time. So just because a person, typically when they're having a bad day and you don't feel or understand why they're having a bad day, don't assume that they didn't. Ask them why did they have a bad day. And don't assume that a person feels good when they probably actually don't. Assumption gets a whole lot of people in trouble. So don't assume how your spouse feels. Ask your spouse how they feel. Number 8, remember you are on the same team. You are on the same winning team. There's no I, there's no you, there's we. And when we're on the same team, we can help each other win. I'm not trying to beat you, you're not trying to beat me. It should not be any competition in marriage at all. In fact, marriage should bring you together to know that you are on that winning team. Number 9, keep all lines of communication open. I've spoken on this before multiple times. Communication is essential to a great marriage. Communication is essential to great relationships. Communication is essential, period. A closed mouth does not get fed. And so if you're walking around and your mouth is closed and you never really share, you listen, you talk more than you listen, then you're failing from Jumpstart. You got to have those lines of communication open. You have to be willing to understand that you don't know everything. You have to understand that communication only makes your marriage and your relationship better. Number 10, have a life outside the relationship. I hear so many times that people only want to be in one place with their spouse. And there's nothing wrong with that because my spouse and I are homebodies. We very seldom go out, but we have enough space in our home that we're able to separate. It's good to have a life outside of your spouse with respect. It's good to go out with your friends with respect, knowing that you're married. It's good to have that communication and dialogue with people who you enjoy being around and realizing and understanding that you're married. And so having a relationship outside of your marriage, I think it kind of makes your marriage a little bit more whole. And when I say a relationship, I'm talking about friendships, okay? Let me clarify that. I'm not talking about relationships with anybody else. I'm talking about relationships with the opposite sex. And even if it does include the same sex, that you have that respect for one another and they have that respect for you. But you have to have friendship because friendship make relationships better. And even with your spouse, you have to have that friendship with one another and respect and appreciate each other. And so marriage is not easy. Marriage is some hard work. And I think the longer that you stay married and the more that you understand, appreciate, respect, and communicate with one another, the better your marriage will be. And so I hope these tips helped. If they did, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Go ahead and leave me a comment and go ahead and like this video. As I mentioned, it helps my channel for me to be able to produce more videos. Thank you for being here. I am Vini Shell. Take care. Blessings and peace. Until next time. Peace.